In the UK alone, it's estimated that there are around 34 million pets in approximately 17 million households. COVID-19, of course, has contributed to this significantly, with approximately 3.2 million households acquiring a pet since the start of the pandemic. With all pets in the UK required to be registered with a veterinary practice, pet owners are advised to take their pet for a routine checkup at least once a year. However, the true frequency of visits can vary immensely depending on breed, age, ailment, and owner. As a result of the pandemic, pet owners are being told to seek advice from their vet over the phone before attending their veterinary practice to avoid any unnecessary face-to-face contact. As such, we've identified a gap in the growing market of veterinary telemedicine. Our company, Direct to Vet, looks to fill this gap with our mobile application. In our presentation, you will see Kevin outline the details of our venture, including a demonstration of our app prototype. Myself and Jade will explore the external market, focusing on the early stage industry of veterinary telemedicine, as well as the spending habits of our target market. Kirsty and Jamie will take a deep dive into our business model canvas. Nick will discuss our potential exit strategies via one of the 4 major veterinary corporates in the UK and the associated value proposition for you as investors, while also considering future expansion opportunities for the product and company. Finally, Jack will take a look at our forecasted financials and future revenue streams.
So what is our product and service, and how does it actually function effectively for the customer? The Direct to Vet application is available to download for free by all users. Free users have access to tips, FAQs and calendar syncing dates for their pets. However, our service is mainly structured around subscription fees. The first tier of our subscription costs £10 and grants 24/7 access to a vet and an initial consultation of 15 minutes. This also provides access to exclusive offers from our partners within the product section of our app, of which we take a percentage of the transaction. The second tier of subscription grants access to general consultations where questions regarding condition severity and general queries can be asked. This is £10 per session on top of the initial subscription fee. Tier 3 is our specialist consultation service based on vet rep referrals, where a specialist will come to the customer's home for a consultation. The associated cost of this service varies between £80 and £150 and is optional for the customer based on their preference. So, to demonstrate proof of concept, the team at Direct to Vet have developed a fully functional prototype application. Upon opening the mobile application, the user interface is aesthetically pleasing at first glance. From the homepage, the customer has access to various features and streamlined functionality. Features such as faxing information regarding different breeds, recent veterinary articles, our price and payment structure, and customer support is hosted on this page. However, the most fundamental feature shows the next available specialist for consultation. From here, the customer can tap on the Book a Consultation button, where they are taken directly to the veterinarian's contact page. The customer can then book an appointment with the vet to suffice their required needs. In the veterinarian section, the customer can contact and favourite practitioners they have previously dealt with. This gives the customer that added layer of security and peace of mind. This also allows practitioners on the platform to build customer relationships that are integral functions of their business. The product page allows partners to advertise exclusive offers to our customers and a range of products available directly through our app. This enables us to gain monetary value from transactions and drive business to our partners. Various partner offers regarding pet grooming, worming and vaccinations can also be ordered here. When entering the Vet Reps On Demand section of the app, the customer is shown specialist veterinarians in their area that are available to come directly to their home and treat their animals. The customer can select the veterinarian that matches their requirements and view their profile. On this page, the customer has access to a comprehensive breakdown of the vet's background, customer reviews of their services, and the ability to book an appointment for a specialist to visit their home.
To substantiate our venture idea, we undertook wider research and a pestle analysis, which can be seen in Appendix 1. Our findings show that telemedicine in human healthcare is thriving thanks to our convenience-driven society and increasingly widespread adoption of technological solutions prompted by COVID-19 restrictions. In the US, it's evident that the veterinary services industry has followed suit. However, in the UK, this movement is less prevalent. As a result of the pandemic, UK veterinary practices, typically relying on in-person consultations, have been forced to employ remote consulting. This was shown in a recent RCVS survey held in June 2020, in which 80% of respondents stated that they undertake remote consultations. Between June and September, however, the use of remote consulting in vet practices dropped from 80% to 50%. It's evident that while veterinary practices are adapting to ensure continued service provision, despite the restrictions, many are not finding a permanent solution to carry out remote consultations. For instance, we know that pet owners are being asked to seek advice from vets over the phone before attending their veterinary practice. So it's a possibility that many veterinary practices still have not established the technological infrastructure for video consulting. Looking ahead, veterinary telemedicine proves convenient beyond COVID regulations, as transporting pets to their appointments can be anxiety-inducing for both pets and their owners, causing some owners to put off taking their pet to the vet, which can produce increased expenses and poor medical results. So our question is, why not do it from the comfort of your own home?
As we know, the UK has seen a surge in pet ownership in the last year due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, a third of young adults aged 24 to 35 own a pet, making millennials the largest segment of pet owners in the UK, overtaking baby boomers. With this, a change in consumer habits can be seen, especially with what owners are willing to spend and or do for their furry friends. Surveys undertaken by Activet show that the number of visits to the vet declines with the owner's age, where the younger generation, millennials and Generation Z, tend to visit the vet up to 6 times a year, whilst the silent generation and baby boomers visit considerably less, between 2 or 3 times a year, respectively. Increasingly, pets are becoming more important members of the family, especially since childbearing is progressively being delayed. Therefore, it's not surprising that consumer spending has risen, with owners more willing to splash out on accessories, luxury beds, grooming, and of course, veterinary services. COVID-19 has also pushed consumers of all ages to become more tech savvy, with smartphones becoming the UK's most used device, and a staggering 98% of millennials using them on a daily basis. Trends suggest that millennials are more likely to seek value in brands that make their lives easier, save them money, and serve a purpose, which is why an increased drive in the subscription model is present, especially from millennial consumers, who, according to Win Marital in the US, are willing to spend anywhere between $9.99 to $34.99 in veterinary telemedicine subscriptions and consultations, highlighting the gap in the UK market.
Through acting as a middleman to make initial vet consultations easier for both pet owners and vets, we'll now delve into the business model canvas, which will be used as a tool to help you understand direct-to-vet's value through the company's infrastructure and its offering to consumers. When looking at key resources, we considered what the company would need in order to make the business model work, and as a premise of the business as an application, having IT infrastructure in place is critical to ensure smooth operating. Along with this, software developers will be required to streamline the app, create updates, and make it user-friendly. Content and data will also need to be created in order for the developers to input this into the app, and vet representatives must be acquired to encourage the app's expansion within further practices. Key activities stipulate what the business needs to excel, and a loyal customer base is something that will be vital for this. Direct-to-Vet will need to continually acquire new customers to promote growth, but also retain existing customers through providing a novel and quality service. Software development will play an important role as consumers will want a seamless experience, and tying in with this, it will be necessary to develop the business's network and operating market so that feasible value can be provided to customers. Through considering who will help direct-to-vets in succeeding, numerous key partners are being sought after, and we are looking to you to lend the funding required to start up the business. An app development company will also need to be recruited to provide software developers, and Factory 73 is one which has been located as central to Glasgow. We will also be looking to form affiliations with corporate and independent veterinary practices, as this will form the initial way we attract customers. Partnerships and associations with insurance companies will also be sought after, as this will aid in expanding our customer base. Lastly, the cost structure will map out how the direct-to-vet application will become a reality, and we see this happening through implementing a low-cost, high-value model through subscription pricing starting at £10 per month. Aspects of the business that will require the most funding will come under software development costs, service operation costs, sales and marketing costs, and finally, content creation costs.
In terms of value for the pet owner, the app provides peace of mind through granting access to a specialist opinion in a matter of minutes. The app also offers parental care, providing specialist opinion based on general practitioners' referral and consumer preferences, giving access to specialist advice from an expert in that respective field for an increased consultation fee. Both these options may potentially prevent the need for a stressful and time-consuming trip to the vet, but alternatively, if face-to-face care is needed, the owner can go with an accurate account of what's wrong with the pet via data input in the app that can be accessed by the respective practice, saving precious time. In terms of the value it brings to the vet, it allows veterinary practices to increase their customer base via the contact required through initial consultations. The app allows consumers to develop relationships with the same vet based on their availability, keeping that traditional personal style liked by many pet owners. It also potentially may act as a way for vets to consult from their own homes, clocking into the app whenever they please and providing their expert opinion. In terms of customer segments, we are directly appealing to the mass market, being the pet owners. We initially plan to target independent vet practices to initially establish a target consumer base by gaining access to their existing clients. In the long term, targeting corporate vet groups such as CVS and independent vet care would provide value for both the corporate and the consumer, giving access to increasing their customer base and network of vet practices consumers can visit after consultation if they need. Another potential segment could be partnerships with insurance companies, providing consumer care linked to the respective pet insurance policy, saving time making a claim. Now that the campus has been formed, how do we initially apply it? As our main source of revenue is the subscription base, our main initiative would be to increase our customer base at levels sustainable for initial growth. This should be done by initially selling to and acquiring the vets to allow this growth. We would potentially do this through three streams. Selling our application and networking via the British Small Animal Veterinary Conference and network with the vet practices from all across the UK at one place, with the potential to sell to vet practices directly depending on our desired location for growth. Social media advertising is the second one, targeting a younger pet owner potentially in urban areas where it may be less feasible for them to visit a local vet and more feasible to use our service. This is tied into the increasing trend of freemium apps, acquiring a high majority of customers with a limited service, with the option of buying a premium subscription as they add on. And finally, by actively creating symbiotic partnerships with insurance companies and animal product establishments such as Pets at Home, for them to have access to our operations and act as a platform that can be accessed in return for advertisement of our project in their high consumer platforms.
Whilst maintaining our offerings to individual customers, it's important to realise other streams of potential revenue that can act as growth strategies for direct-to-vet. Many pet insurance companies, like VetPlan, extend their offerings to pet insurance to cover online consultations. Getting these large insurance providers on board with our app creates value for all parties involved. With over 4.3 million pets covered by insurance in the UK, the potential for new customers is vast. Insurance companies benefit due to consumers not visiting the vet practice as often. These insurance providers are often built for costly visits when a consultation via the direct-to-vet app is a fraction of the cost and may result in consumers avoiding the vet practice altogether. The direct-to-vet app may also be a draw factor for those contemplating which insurance provider to choose from. Including direct-to-vet in insurance plans is also great for the consumer, as they can get immediate attention without waiting in long queues at vet practices, all under the same insurance plan. Vet practices and individual vets also reap the benefits of insurance companies being involved. Less time is taken up with minor consultations, and they get the potential of bringing in new customers due to our app recommending good vet practices to visit. Vets can also bill the insurance companies directly, without having to worry about the financial situation of an individual consumer for costly procedures.
Through undertaking analysis of the current veterinary industry, I was able to create an estimated payback on our proposed project Direct2Vet. This is based on the idea that we would require $150,000 to create the app with a 1-year timescale to finish it. It is estimated that our subscription for the app would cost around £10 per month, and if you were to solely look at the amount of units required to break even, you'd be looking at 150,000 subscriptions. By carrying out these calculations and estimations, we have created a payback timetable to show when we are likely to break even. These figures are based on the idea of consistent growth of our client base year on year. We estimate that by year 4, we will be looking to break even, and this is not including the revenue from temporary consultations either. When estimating the revenue for the consultations, we took the number of subscriptions, halved it, and then multiplied it by 10 to give us an amount earned. Similarly, these calculations can either be scaled up or scaled down, as these are all estimations. Based on our idea that would be giving 30% equity cut for 150,000, the investors will triple their money by year 6 and will receive a total estimation of £477,000. We also factored in that we need 2 full-time staff to run the operation once the app is produced, which would cost around £40,000 per year. To conclude, after all external and internal costs were accounted for, we created a percentage-based estimation on the money earned and the profit after costs. We calculated that roughly we were making 92.5% of profit, and the other 7.5% of revenue generated was being covered by our costs.
Finally, we must also consider our routes to exit from direct to vet. 2 viable options exist to boost capital and return initial investments back to our investors. The first option is to sell a percentage or the whole company to a corporate firm within the pet industry. This will allow for greater investment into our app, and with a favourable economic market and digital trends happening in recent years, the value of our company could be vast. Selling to a corporate firm within the pet industry would give us great insights and expertise on how to move forward with the app, helping expand our offering and our customer base. Success using this strategy has been seen with regards to Innocent Smoothies. Although based on the drinks industry, similar outcomes could be implemented within our company. Innocent Smoothies sold a 20% stake in the company to Coca-Cola in 2009, and over the years built a good relationship with them. In 2013, Coca-Cola took full ownership of the company, and it has seen considerable growth since. Secondly, launching an IPO is a great way for startup firms to raise capital and investors to capitalise on their investment. In 2016, the median proceeds received from an initial public offering were $94.5 million, and depending on our position in the market when launching, the company's value is most likely between 15 to 20 times that of earnings before interest, tax, and amortization. An IPO will increase the brand's exposure and access to public investors. A successful public launch will subsequently increase the value of the company's stock price and will attract new investors from a range of sectors. An IPO is a perfect opportunity for you, the investor, to exit the firm and yield the increased value of your initial investment through selling your equity stake.
So to conclude from today's presentation, our external research has identified that within an increasingly convenience-driven society, there's a clear gap in the UK market for veterinary telemedicine, and this has only been accelerated by technological advancements and COVID-19. This presents a unique opportunity for Direct2Vet to target an emerging market early, which will allow for the business to establish itself as a leader in this field. This is something we aim to do through using a subscription-based model on our app, which is expected to draw in a high network of consumers who desire more accessible veterinary consultations. We also seek to provide value to the vets who want to expand their customer base by taking advantage of the rapidly emerging telemedicine trend. The success of this low-cost, high-value model is completely based on our acquisition of vets and pet owners, and so efficient strategies and partnerships are necessary to maximize our consumer base and allow for sustainable growth. We hope to do this through establishing mutually beneficial relationships with insurance companies, as adding our service to their plans will increase the number of users on our app whilst reducing their number of vet visits claimed. Finally, due to the scalability of this project, the finances can all be adjusted upwards or downwards, and so similarly, other revenue streams can also be factored in due to the adaptability of the app. Selling to corporate firms will also allow for a quick and seamless exit strategy, meaning investors can recoup their initial investments and profits from Direct2Vet. However, as discussed, an IPO is also another available option for investors to capitalise on their initial investment and yield any potential returns and profits. Thank you for listening to our presentation, and we hope you believe in Direct2Vet as much as we do.